Bronson Reed's night on Raw turned into an absolute disaster that nobody saw coming, and if you watched it live, you know exactly how bad things got. No one expects a world-class athlete to be reduced to the butt of a joke in front of millions, but that's exactly what unfolded. WWE, a company with every resource at its fingertips, somehow thought the best possible way to use Reed, a massive talent with the presence of a true main eventer, was to drop him into a segment filled with toilet humor, fake poop, and the kind of pranks you'd expect from middle schoolers, not a global entertainment giant. Reed, who has put in years of hard work, traveling from Australia, grinding through the indies, excelling in NXT, and clawing his way back after being released, deserved a segment that showcased his strengths and intensity, not one that made him a punchline. What happened on that episode was more than just a bad creative decision. It was the kind of humiliation that can haunt a performer's career for years. WWE has a habit of taking wrestlers who could be major players and tossing them into comedy segments that erase months, sometimes years, of character development in an instant. It isn't just about a single night of embarrassment. Once the audience has seen someone mocked like that, it's nearly impossible to get them to take the wrestler seriously again. Reed isn't the first to be put in this spot. Otis, Rusev, and countless others have been sacrificed for a cheap laugh, only to spend months trying to rebuild their reputations. WWE fans have witnessed these moments time and again, with each one chipping away at the credibility of both the performers and the company itself. If you want stories like this exposed, subscribe so you never miss the truth. The pain of seeing Reed, a powerhouse who's delivered jaw-dropping moments like those 5 tsunamis to Seth Rollins, suddenly covered in fake sludge, is a reminder of how easily WWE can squander potential. Instead of elevating Reed into a monster heel or letting him cut a promo that would ignite a rivalry, the creative team settled for bathroom jokes, throwing away the suspense and tension that wrestling fans crave. There's a long history of this sort of thing in WWE. Dolph Ziggler was once forced into a stand-up comedy role that nobody bought, while other stars had their real lives turned into soap opera fodder that did nothing for their careers. Reed's segment is now another chapter in this book of wasted opportunities. The fallout is real. After something like this, nobody in the crowd or at home is thinking about Reed's power or his potential championship runs. They're thinking about that one humiliating moment. It sticks, and that's a problem not just for Reed but for every performer hoping to avoid being the next comedy victim. WWE's competitors, companies like AEW and New Japan, don't do this. Their heavyweights are treated as threats, as champions, as stars worth watching. The difference in how they build and protect their talent is sharp, and it's no wonder that fans often look to those promotions for the kind of storytelling and respect that WWE sometimes lacks. Think about it. Would AEW book a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs or NJPW use a top heavyweight in a segment like this? If they did, their fan base would erupt in outrage, which just highlights how WWE's audience sometimes gets so used to these decisions that they shrug them off. But it shouldn't be normal to see world-class athletes made into laughingstocks. For the fans who tune in every week, buy the pay-per-views, and spend money on merch, there's an expectation of consistency and quality, of being treated with respect, not insulted with lazy gags. WWE's greatest moments, the ones that define eras, Stone Cold vs. Bret Hart, The Undertaker facing off with Shawn Michaels, CM Punk's legendary pipe bomb, all those were built on drama, intensity, and characters that felt real. There were no childish distractions, no cheap laughs at the expense of the performer's dignity. Reed should have been given something meaningful, whether it was a destructive backstage rampage, a match that left everyone talking, or a promo that set the stage for a big feud. But instead, we got a segment that left everyone involved looking worse, and the fans feeling cheated. The worst part is, decisions like this get made over and over, and with each one, it gets harder for the performers to climb back. A single segment can undo months of hard work, replacing anticipation and excitement with skepticism and jokes. It's a pattern that keeps repeating because there's rarely any real backlash. The audience often just moves on, but the performer's character is stuck with that moment forever. The people behind these characters are athletes and artists, sacrificing everything to reach the top. Reed's journey from Australia, his grind through the indies, his tenacity after being released, speaks volumes about his dedication. To have all that reduced to a single night of bathroom jokes is more than disrespectful, it's a betrayal of everything he's put into his career. Imagine the creative team approaching you, after all your sacrifices and effort, and telling you that your next big moment is being doused in fake poop. The feeling of being let down, of having your career hijacked by bad writing, is something no performer deserves. And it's not just about Reed. Who's next? Will Ilya Dragunov be forced into bad comedy for ratings? Will Ludwig Kaiser be made the punchline of the week? As long as these segments go unchallenged, it sets a precedent that this is acceptable. Each time it happens without fans demanding change, it becomes just another WWE moment, instead of a wake-up call for better creative. That's why it matters to speak up, not just in YouTube comments, but on social media, by replying to WWE's posts, and by showing support for the wrestlers directly. Follow Reed, let him know his fans are behind him, and let WWE know you're paying attention and expect more. If enough people refuse to accept these bad decisions, if there's backlash when the product is lazy, things can change. The only way WWE will stop producing segments like this is if there's a clear message from the audience. We want more, we want better, we want our favorites to be treated like stars, not props for jokes. If you're with me, hit subscribe and stay informed every time I break down these moments. The way WWE uses its talent says everything about where the company's priorities lie. Sometimes, it feels like they're more interested in chasing a laugh than building stars. Yet, the fans don't forget. Those who watch every week remember when a character is misused, when a story is dropped, or when a career is sabotaged for a fleeting joke. The damage isn't just to the performer's reputation, it's to the entire show's credibility. When bad jokes take the place of meaningful moments, the product suffers and the fans lose trust. Supporting the wrestlers means showing up for them online, making it clear you value their work and see their potential, even when the company doesn't. It also means making your voice heard. Don't let anyone dismiss your criticism as complaining. Holding WWE accountable is what keeps standards high and pushes for the kind of wrestling that made everyone a fan in the first place. That's why this channel exists, to shine a light on the good and the bad, to celebrate what works, and to call out what doesn't. If you want more honest takes and the truth behind these decisions, subscribe now. Reed's humiliation is a symptom of a much bigger issue in WWE's creative approach. There's a disconnect between what makes compelling TV and what gets written week after week. Too often, storylines are dropped, characters are changed at random, and the performers are left to pick up the pieces. WWE might see these segments as harmless filler, but for the wrestlers, these moments last a lifetime. The fans remember them too, and the only way to get the kind of television everyone deserves is to keep speaking up. Want to make a difference? Use your voice on social media. Let WWE know the audience is watching, and support the talent you care about by following and engaging with them. If enough fans tune out when segments like this air, eventually the company will have to listen. Reed, like so many others before him, worked too hard and sacrificed too much for his career to be derailed by bathroom jokes. WWE fans deserve better, the performers deserve better, and wrestling itself deserves more respect. If you agree, hit like, subscribe, and share this everywhere so that the message gets as loud as possible.